So this is the 2014 Honda Crosstour. It's a very strange vehicle. It's hard to understand why Honda actually got here. But when you look at the segment, there are families and there are couples with young children and retired couples who, where a Accord or a Camry isn't quite enough, they need that extra space out back, but they don't want to invest in a CUV or an SUV. Well, the Crosstour is the perfect vehicle, and that's one of the reasons it was born. It didn't compete very well with the Toyota Venza, which did a lot better when the Crosstour first came out, but they've ruggeded the car up. They've given it bigger, beefier looks. They've also made it a lot nicer on the inside, and the result is their sales are up 20%. This is more of a hatch wagon than anything else, and a lot of people are deciding this is the car that meets their needs perfectly. If you lift the bonnet of the 2014 Honda Crosstour, out of this model you'll find a V6 engine, and it's Honda's Earth Dreams. They've worked very hard to get their Earth Streams right with variable valve timing and also the cylinder management system married together, which helps save on fuel economy. And with this V6 engine, that gets 29 miles a gallon. Now there's also an optional 4-cylinder engine where you can dive into this car with 31 miles a gallon and also get a lot of the same technologies on the inside. But for our demonstration purposes, we want to show you a lot about how this car performs. You can get 5 different trim levels, everything from basic cloth seats all the way up to fine leather. You can get sunroofs, all-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive. And when you get the full premium package, the V6 engine and the all-wheel drive system, it's really fun to drive this car off-road. There's a few things in the back of this car that I love and one that I hate. But let's take a look at the space. In here, it looks like a fairly large trunk, something you might see in an SUV or a CUV. It doesn't look like something that's in a station wagon coupe, but there's hidden storage as well. Lift up the back here, that's a giant storage area. You could get a family's picnic in there for a day's travel. Also put your safety belongings in there if you need to lock the car, and be sure they're a little more secure than just leaving them in the trunk. One of the really nice features as well is these side panels. They flip out. If you want to put your dog in the back of the car and you don't want to have to vacuum the carpets, you can flip these over on each side, pull the one from the other side, and actually make your trunk into a plastic covered trunk and reverse the lid here. So you get a complete plastic trunk, so if you're putting muddy stuff or kids stuff in the back, which you don't want to have to vacuum the carpet, you can actually avoid having to do that. It just reverses. And now you have a completely cleanable back area. Another feature I really like, it's always hard to reach these back seats. I'm actually 5'4". You can see me at a full stretch. I can't even touch the seat. How am I going to put them down? Well, Honda have included some nice handles right here. You just flip the handle and the seat goes down automatically. And that's a real benefit if you're trying to load stuff in the car and you didn't plan ahead and you need to get the seats down immediately. Now the bad part of the car is this. I don't like to think of the Prius gas-saving models or some of the Honda gas-saving models which have those split rear windshields. And this does. It has glass here, a little bit dusty from our off-roading, and then the fin and glass here. And what happens is it splits your view when you're sitting in the driver's seat, so you don't have a clear view outside of the car. Well styled with a nice third brake light here, but however, it harkens back to those Honda Insights and those Toyota Priuses, and I think it would have been much nicer if we'd managed to continue the glass all the way down to the bottom of the trunk. So getting this car on some mild off-roading performs really well. You can rack it around the corners. You know, it drives like a Honda. There's a couple of other things you should note about this. When you get it on the straightaway, you can actually use the paddle shifters here. Now this is a Honda Accord Crosstour that has paddle shifters, so it really increases the driving experience. On the inside, it's designed really nicely. It gives you the split screens. I have navigation up top and my radio audio system below, which is nice to be able to look at a screen and not have to thumb through different pages as you drive. you can get into the car for just over $27,000, and I think it's an actual good buy, because if you need that extra space but the reliability of a Honda, it's great. The downside to it is the styling's a little bit old-fashioned, and in the updates they could make the car a little modern. Get rid of that back window, we might just have a winner.